We're living in a world torn apart by judgments rooted in ideas of right and wrong. But where has that gotten us so far? Maybe there's a higher perspective for us to consider, a way out of vilifying each other. I'm Andrea Kennedy, Reiki Master Teacher and Intuitive Channel. In this clip, recorded October 16th, 2025, I share what the Emissaries of Light revealed when asked a powerful question about this, even in situations as extreme as murder. You can learn more about the Emissaries of Light through the link in the description, and the full live stream is linked at the end of this video. Let's listen. Blaming and forgiveness. Allowing. These are all sharply energetic for people, meaning these are difficulties. And so your question opens that door. Right and wrong, morality, for example. And aren't some things evil? Why not go there? And we will tell you that evil is an absence of knowing the light that the person is, has been, and forever shall be. You see, it isn't only the light bringers, such as yourselves, that are light. Those you would call villains or destructive or murderers, they are light as well. They are simply further into forgetfulness. Because when a person knows themselves as light, that is what they create from. When a person knows themselves as being void of light, through their upbringing and their agreements of seeing themselves in that way, they create from that. It is natural. They are vilified, of course, but we will tell you there is a spectrum of experience on earth. And though many of you may disagree, we will tell you that evil does not exist. It is simply the absence of remembering the light of who they are and acting from that place. You can label it evil if you wish. You can label it any number of things. But every soul that is incarnated on the planet now or in times that we would label prior, due to the evolution of humanity, at any time on earth, in any incarnation, there are perpetrators and there are victims, if you wish to call them that through these words. But we will tell you there is always a level of energetic agreement, not conscious agreement, but energetic agreement. And what that means is at a very high level, from a very wise and intelligent level of consciousness that every soul possesses, there is an agreement. And so when there is an act perpetrated against another, the human will hate, the human will suffer, the human will, you may fill in the blank. And we acknowledge this. But the human also learns. The human also becomes a teacher to others. And they learn through that experience. There is nothing that happens that is all light. There is nothing that happens that is all in darkness. Again, forgetfulness. There is a spectrum, and everything in between is occurring all at once. We do not wish to confuse you with this answer, but you are here on earth to learn and experience. And therefore, it is defined that you must experience contrast on your world. That is part of the earth experience. It is defined as such until you choose it to be different. The evolution of humanity that is happening now is moving to remembering that individuals are the light of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. It can be no other way. And as more humans remember that, they will create from that, and then you will have less of the acts that you mention, murder and other choices. Because when people remember that they are the light, they act from that, and they treat others as the lights that they know them to be. So the great awakening, the great transformation that is happening on the planet is moving you out of the world of contrast, where you have to make agreements at some level to experience contrast. And so when tragedy befalls a person, we invite you to remember that there is much learning and value that occurs there. And if death is involved, we remind you that there is no death from a higher perspective. The earthly body is a shell, and you've had many of them. And when you remember this, you would not label it a tragedy. You would see the richness of the experience and the blessings afforded to you and afforded to all others who are in witness to the tragedy. We understand this is hard for many, but it does go in line with the teaching of the transmission today, letting go of the grudges. We are not saying it is easy. There are people here that may never return to hear us speak this way, because it is too difficult to let go of the feelings associated with the contrast that they themselves have witnessed. And that is fine, for each of you is on a journey, and we just simply offer you a higher perspective and invite you to discern through your own body and your own current set of understandings and beliefs. And perhaps, if it does not resonate, set it aside and live your life. And perhaps one day in this incarnation or in another, it will resonate. There will be a greater understanding. And perhaps not. All is well. All is well. We thank you for the question.